Hey guys, Smitty here. Thanks for tuning in and welcome back. We are back in Valheim and back in our build series, and today we are wrapping up our Ancient Forge build. So, as you can see, we did quite a few additions and decorations behind me. I initially was going to do a decorative video to kind of show the process, but after playing around with it for a while and just realizing how big this build actually is, it just didn't really work, and I didn't have a clear vision, and it was kind of all over the place, and the content just wasn't really good. So thought instead just rather do a cinematic and full tour. Still should be able to give you guys some good ideas and some inspiration to maybe incorporate into your own builds. But without further ado, grab a snack, grab a drink. Let's get right into it. Okay, so we'll start here around back, kind of where we started our build initially back on day one. So as you can see, we did kind of create a surrounding wall. Pretty simple design, really just use some pillars and then some of the arches and then some hanging lights, but definitely wanted to encapsulate the build with a wall here on this side. Pretty basic entrance, but I wanted to make it seem like it was kind of wandering off into the woods here. Definitely did a lot of experimentation with the lighting. I think that's probably one of the hardest parts of this build. Definitely the hardest part for my computer is the fact that we have so many lights in here. So luckily the frame rate has not died too bad. So here in the front of this main forge, I decorated it with a couple of statuesque figures, and you'll see I did this throughout the build. I think it looks pretty cool, to be honest, and then we use the Frostner weapon in the back to give it kind of a glowing ambiance, which I like. We head on into the actual main forge. It's just kind of a big crafting area. But one of the big changes you'll notice is that we converted the fire from being just kind of the standard red and orange to making it blue. And what I did was just basically stack blue torches underneath the hearth, and then that gives it the blue glow. So it's not a functional thing, it's really more an aesthetic thing, but I wanted to distinguish this main forge in some way, and I think the blue lighting is a good way to do that. I think it just makes it look a little bit more maybe like magical, or maybe like the flames are so hot here that they're blue, and so that's why you can make really like nice weapons or something. I don't know, that's what I had just in terms of the story behind that. But as you can see, just a very robust crafting area. Definitely good attention to detail here. I wanted to make it look like we were creating a lot of really high-end weapons, so I tried to choose some of the cooler looking weapons here. I did pull it out a little bit this way with another hearth. Maybe we're just like sharpening some weapons. Try to create a little design for maybe some really big cooling tubs for some of the weapons, which I think works pretty well. If you go on to some of these surrounding forges here, you'll see we just basically decorated them again with more crafting areas. Yeah, just kind of smaller forges where we're maybe making some weapons. As you can see, the frame rate is not great here. We did use, again, I think that's from all the different torches and particle effects we have from it. Same thing on this side. Again, just small forging area, kind of overlooking the greater build itself. Then if we come on out here to the platform we built with our weapons, so I did do a couple changes here as well. I actually raised up another additional platform on the end here. I think this actually just like frames it a little bit better. And then actually, instead of just sinking the weapon completely in stone, I raised it above and then kind of attached it to a golem trophy. I think, yeah, again, when it comes to just like framing the weapon and making it look epic, I think that looks really cool. So really like how that turned out. So yeah, just modified that slightly. If we come on down here to just like the rest of the forge, again, some more decorative statues we have, some more just like forging areas. And then, yeah, you'll see I use this up in the main forge too, but using the like armor stands, you can basically just make like kind of creative looking armor and weapon stands if you stack them together, right? So quite the forge operation we have. Something that you'll also notice is different and that we added was these kind of circling staircases around each one of these spires. So I did expand the actual build itself a little bit since our last episode. So I created some circular staircases that I think look pretty nice. Kind of breaks up just the boxy look with some of these curves. And then it kind of comes down here into this lower courtyard, down into some stairs, off to a path in the woods. But again, I think the build is kind of nicely encapsulated with some of these walls. Added again some more of the statues here on this main grand staircase. And then some, again, just some forging areas with some armors, weapons, so on and so forth. Try to create this little like pillar decorative monument down here in this kind of mid courtyard forge area. And then if we go on down here to the bottom, like I said, we just have kind of a lower courtyard, made a little more natural with some of the grass, some of the trees. And then I created a well design. So I used some of the hot tubs here, used some stone, and then try to frame it to make it look like a well. Maybe some coins here, people throwing it in. Yeah, I think this is a nice contrast from just kind of the stone up here. Maybe this is where people can come and rest a little bit from you know, working hard in the forge. And then this just kind of trails down here into the forest. But yeah, it looks pretty cool. So as you can see, I definitely chose a different environment to film this in. So this is actually the Twilight Clear environment, and so that gives it this kind of awesome red kind of sunset look. And I think it just gives the build a whole new feel. And I really like how it is. Just, I think it kind of I think the redness of the twilight just kind of accentuates this forge with all the fire. It feels like a very warm build, to be honest. Yeah, it turned out really well. The funny thing is, like, when I initially thought of this build, I did not really expect it to get this big. I think we're probably approaching like 18,000 instances here. So yeah, definitely have done quite the project here, but I'm really happy with how it turned out. I think it looks so grand and just like fantasy, and like, yeah, look at the view from up here. Just the way that the lights work in this game, it just looks so epic. But again, really happy how it worked out. Love the different layers or the different levels that we have here. I think when you have a lot of dynamic levels in a build, from like low to high, I think that always makes it look really interesting. But again, sorry for not showing the full decorative process here, but you know, I tried and it just, again, really didn't work out with, you know, I didn't have a vision and I was going back and forth and changing stuff, and there was really just no flow to it. So just decided to kind of finish it up and show you guys the final result here. But hopefully you guys like this build. If you did, please make sure you like and subscribe, and I will catch you in the next one. Thanks.